Hello everyone, this is lecture 2 part 3 of electromagnetic induction. I am Samir Lavankar. So let us start our lecture. Moving on to the third point, after the Faraday's laws of induction was made, Lenz also explained his law which was based on conservation of energy and the use of this induction of current. So as we already know from the experiments being told you in the last lecture and this lecture, that because it is already known to us that due to a change in magnetic flux there is an induction in the current. But where is this energy coming from? We all know that the current, or sorry, this energy is always conserved, energy can't be created, can't be destroyed. That means any form of energy is being converted to this electrical energy. So to understand this concept more, Lenz and other scientists worked upon this area, worked upon this concept, and hence a law was being created and the conservation of energy is being talked about. So let me go to the Lenz law and conservation of energy. As you keep on seeing, the formulas are being updated here slide by slide for your easy reference. So Lenz law, the statement of Lenz law, let me iterate to you the statement of Lenz law. So the polarity of the induced EMF, polarity is nothing but plus and negative value. Mathematical terms, polarity is nothing but positive and negative value of this EMF. So the polarity of the induced EMF is such that it tends to produce a current which opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced it. The line can be a bit tedious. I will explain to you by using the experiments we talked about in the last lecture. So as I told you a few slides back again, then when I was explaining you these concepts regarding a coil, a magnetic field, and I wrote the value of G and I. If the deflection was towards right, then the current was going like this. If the deflection was towards left, the current was going clockwise. So there was an induction of current opposite to the change in magnetic flux, or the induction was of current was in the opposite, it opposes the change in magnetic field, it opposes the change in magnetic flux. So this concept is being only told and properly designed in a statement known as Lenz law. So the polarity of the induced EMF is such that it tends to produce a current which opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced it. So if the magnetic flux says you to go in this direction, the current will say no, I will go in opposite direction. So this is only the concept which is being told about here. So the negative sign in equation 2 represent this effect. So that is only the way why the value of epsilon is minus n d phi b by dt. So this is nothing but the creation of Lenz law, due to Lenz law. This is not Lenz law, this is due to Lenz law. So we see that the north pole of a so to examine or to understand this Lenz law more, it can be understood by this experiment here. So Lenz law can be understood by examining the experiment number 1. We see that the north pole of a bar magnet is pushed towards the closed coil. C1, this was the bar magnet here, let me denote it by M. So we see that the north pole of a bar magnet is pushed towards the closed coil. As the north pole of the bar magnet moves towards the coil, the magnetic flux through the coil increases. It is quite peculiar, it is quite clear that if these are the magnetic field lines, and if you move it towards here, so if after some time t the magnetic fields are like this, so it is quite clear that towards the coil or inside the coil there is an increase in the magnetic field. As the north pole of the bar magnet moves towards the coil, the magnetic flux through the coil increases. Hence, the current is induced in the coil in such a direction that it opposes the increase in flux. So the concept here is nothing but if the coil increases the current in some direction, it tries to oppose it. So creation in energy relates to reduction in the energy, so that the energy is conserved. This is the only concept of Lenz law. So as you can see in the right figure also, that if the north pole of the bar magnet is being told like this, and if there is an induction, the current direction is like this. But if it is moving apart or it is moving away, then the current direction is reversed. This is only to oppose the change in or oppose the movement of the magnetic flux. This is possible only if the current in the coil is in a counterclockwise direction with respect to an observer situated on the right side of the magnet. So this is just the line to explain the Lenz law. to explain it more, only different concepts are being used. So, either a north pole can go this side or it can come apart. The second case can be that the south pole is like here going towards the coil and going away from the coil. So, 4 cases can be created and these 4 cases have been talked about here. So, similarly, if the north pole of the magnet is being drawn from the coil, the magnetic flux of the coil will decrease. To counter this decrease in magnetic flux, the induced current in the coil flows in clockwise direction, and its south pole faces the receding north pole of the bar magnet. So, what it does is it just opposes the direction of current flow due to the magnetic flux induced in it. This would result in an attractive force which opposes the motion of the magnet and the corresponding decrease in flux. So, this is nothing but to iterate this experiment here, these 2 points were been told about. Suppose that the induced current was in the direction opposite to the one depicted in figure A. Figure A is this one. In that case, the south pole due to the induced current will face the approaching north pole of the magnet. The bar magnet will then be attracted towards the coil at an ever increasing acceleration, and a gentle push on the magnet will initiate the process, and its velocity and kinetic energy will continuously increase without expending any energy. If this can happen, one could construct a perpetual motion machine by a suitable arrangement, and this violates the law of conservation of energy and hence cannot happen. So, this line is the main complete funda, or we can say complete concept of why it opposes. I will explain it again line by line. So, this is nothing but conservation of energy. This is nothing but conservation of energy. So, what does this line tell is, I will explain here. So, it says thus that let us explain this case only, that the north pole of the bar magnet is going towards the coil. So, what will happen is, for now take a hypothetical situation in which the magnetic flux or the current direction is similar to the direction of magnetic flux, that is in this direction. Let us consider this is the direction. That means that it is attracting it more, it is not deflecting the magnet. If it is attracting it more, what will happen is a gentle push of the magnet will cross or will increase its speed very rapidly, and that will change, that will lead to an increase in energy, or that will lead into evolution of more energy. But from where does this energy come? It is not possible in any scenario. You can explain it like, let us explain that this is a bar magnet and this is a coil. If anything always have some energy involved in it. If anything is being gently pushed, it is not like it will increase its current to 1 lakh millivolts or 1 lakh volts. It does not happen in the current scenario. Why doesn't it happen is because there is always a conservation of energy. So, because to conserve the energy, so that I am saying that I have 5 kilo of vegetables, or I have 5 kilo of energy with me, I have 5 kilo of energy, I want to pass it to you. So, what it does it says that okay, I will collect your energy, So, for the delta t time, for the delta t instant, it collects that 5 kilo of energy. But what it does is, I cannot sustain it more. So, what it does is it gives it back. So, how does it gives it back? It induces the current. So, hence this giving and taking will lead to conservation of energy, and hence this Lenz's law is being proved here. So, to summarize this second lecture, the things we talked about here was, first of all, there was an concept of magnetic flux, which in the first lecture the concept I told you about an imaginary rope being surrounded by A and B, which increased from 0 to 5 units, then it increased to 500 units. It is nothing but the value of magnetic flux was the concept denoted by phi b, denoted by Weber. So, in this lecture what we talked about is we talked about what is magnetic flux, we talked about what it was the SI unit of electromagnetic flux, we talked about problems related to this magnetic flux values, followed by the Lenz law. Lenz law is nothing but everything what Faraday and Joseph Henry and Oersted and Ampere did in their entire life just to complete or complied that statements that complied those all those issues into conservation of energy concept as to why that was happening, why was there a deflection in the galvanometer to the right direction and the current was being induced in the left direction, why was in another scenario when I am pushing a bar magnet with the north pole towards the coil, it is similar to south pole of the bar magnet pushed away from the coil. These all concepts were being told about in Lenz law and conservation of energy. So, the Lenz law statement was being told here and explanation of Lenz law was being conceptualized here. Just to iterate the statements again, so that there is a so as to understand if there is a difference between Faraday's law of induction and Lenz law. So, Faraday's laws of induction was only based on the definition of EMF. EMF is nothing but electromotive force. So, the magnitude, I will just iterate this again. So, Faraday's laws of induction states that the magnitude of the induced EMF in a circuit is equal to the time rate of change of magnetic flux through the circuit. Time rate of change is nothing but delta t and magnetic flux is nothing but delta phi b. So, epsilon is nothing but minus of delta phi b upon delta t. For now, we know that this minus is nothing but a proprietary of Lenz law, or we can say that because we need to conserve the energy, because energy can't be conserve energy, because energy can't be created, not can it be destroyed, that is why a negative sign is being put here. And Lenz law states that the polarity of the induced EMF, polarity is nothing but anything plus and minus in mathematical terms is polarity. So, the polarity of the induced EMF is such that it tends to produce a current is being induced due to the change in magnetic flux. So, a change it tends to produce a current which opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced it. So, this is nothing but the Lenz law statement, and these all concepts or these all examples denoted why there was a need to explain this in the terms of energy and how the energy is conserved. So, this is the end of the second lecture. So, till now we already know the introduction of electromagnetic induction, followed by the 3 experiments of Faraday and Henry, followed by what is this magnetic flux concept which we know about. For now we know about what is this magnetic flux concept, followed by what was the Faraday's law of induction and why there is a need for conservation of energy and Lenz law. So, till this portion the course is progressed. In the coming lectures we will know what is this electromotive force, what is this motion electromotive force, what is inductance, there are 2 types of inductance, self inductance and mutual inductance, we will know about that concept, followed by what is AC generator, how are these created, why is it created, what are the different types of AC generators and so on. So, for now, thank you.